Pokemon Infinite Fusion is one of the best Pokemon fan games ever made, having over 170,000 possible fusion combinations, as well as over 100,000 of those being custom-made sprites. With the game being so popular, I decided to take on my first ever Nuzlocke as a randomized fusion Nuzlocke on stream, and this is how it went. Prepare yourself for some crazy fusions and a lot of poor decisions. Make sure to comment your favorite fusion and the MVP from the run. As every good Nuzlocke begins, we choose our starter, and I don't know about you, but when I'm faced with the options of a ferret and a small pink ball that's not named Kirby, and then a Metang, I choose the Metang. Look, I get its learn set is terrible and it won't evolve for eons, if it even makes it that long, but let's be honest, the other options just weren't it. So after naming it Iron Man, we smacked up our rival Chad and his cursed starter with a surprisingly good moveset, and then we grabbed Professor Oak's parcel. With the Pokedex in hand, our Nuzlocke could officially begin. Now how this run will work is that for each route I get to catch 2 Pokemon. If either of them are fusions, I have to pick one half of the fusion, then release the other half. We can only use fused Pokemon, so we might have 5 Pokemon in total, but that means we only have 2 usable fusions. If a Pokemon faints, both halves are gone for good. Our first encounter was the fantastic ghostly witch Miss Emojis, who we named Potter. We grabbed a Talonzy and this mailman gifted us Mr. Krabs the Kingler, giving us 4 Pokemon to fuse with. Iron Man and Mr. Krabs combined to create Iron Crab. We also unfortunately didn't have a custom fusion for Talonflame and Potter, so say hello to KF Potter. With our scary band of fusions slowly growing, we made our way through the spooky forest, failed to capture a Mudkip because, let's face it, starters are way too hard to capture and we just did not have enough Pokeballs at this point. This also meant we failed our next encounter, Shedchum. Luckily in the next area we then caught a Furret, so we ended up with 2 of the 3 starters anyways. Our encounter to pair it with on Route 2 was one of my favorite starters of all time, fused with an adorable arachnid, Empotic. We kept Empoleon and named him Happy Feet. We also caught a Crocodile named K-Rool and a Venonat and Magneton fusion with Furret. Now I know this is a lot of encounters, but trust me, we are going to need them. Finally, we were able to get rid of KF Potter and fuse together Furret and Miss Magius, creating Pocket. Crocodile fused with Empoleon made the monster Cappy Feet. It was now time to battle our rival for some cash before the gym because fusing things gets kind of expensive. Chad's Genfable could do nothing as Cappy Feet used Bite, and Iron Crab decimated his Igglyret once again. Just after Pewter City, before taking on the gym, we caught an Eggsect, which was just a giant cracked egg, and a Breloom. We chose to keep the Parasect and fused Venonat with Magneton, naming him Liclops. We also fused the Breloom and Talonflame, creating Fried Portobello because, well, it's a fire mushroom Pokemon. Anyways, unfortunately, when training up our Pokemon to the level cap, we ran into a Rye Buffet with Shadow Tag, and with no moves able to hit it, Licops's fate was sealed. After defeating the gym trainers and their insane fusions, it was time to take on Brock. In this game, you can only bring in the same number of Pokemon as the gym leader, so we chose Cappy Feet and Iron Crab. Unfortunately, Brock's dark types started with a Weavile Melodic fusion, which was a terrible lead for us. We went for Swords Dance, they taunted, and so outspeeding with +2, we were easily able to bite our way through Brock's dark types, earning our first gym badge. With a badge in hand and a team that was pretty solid, we pushed our way fighting through turtle beavers, monkey plants, and whatever this thing is, until finally reaching the cave where Team Rocket was causing some trouble. Before going on, we grabbed a Drowsy from this man in the Poké Center, caught a Hoothoot and a Ditto, fused the Ditto with Drowsy into the ultimate life form, Slurpee. And then we cursed our owl friend with a life of pain and torment. Because this run is randomized, we ended up finding all sorts of trainers wielding gods and monsters alike, from the schoolgirl owning a demon skull to the youngster sending out an angel, which unfortunately I figured Iron Crab could handle, but I forgot that Togekiss could have Aura Sphere at level 10 apparently. So after failing to knock it out with Metal Claw, we sadly lost our starter. This loss would be remembered and lamented, as our future Metagross Kingler could have been this or this. We will not forget you. Anyways, we boxed him and carried out disrupting Team Rocket's plan, defeating a Beedrill which was actually pretty powerful with poison and speed on its side. And then finally we made our way out of the cave to Cerulean City. Before heading to the gym, we grabbed a Coffagrigus and Electivire, which fused together to make one of the coolest fusions on the run so far. We named him King Glitch after a member, and then trained in some nearby grass. We had a few close calls with a Dialga fusion, and then finally, with everyone close to the level cap, it was time for Misty and her steel types. Misty's gym trainers had some amazing fusions, like Faragon, the nightly version of Hydreigon, as well as a Steagron, which was the perfect combination of Steelix and Agron's megas. Luckily, King Glitch was able to steamroll with Fire Punch and Low Kick. This strategy also carried us right through Misty's team, as her gorgeous starter Giratil was 4 times weak to a Fire Punch, as was her Beldum Weedle, giving us our second gym badge with no issues. After our battle, Chad decided it was a good time to challenge us. And so Glitch decimated his Hitmonrill, Cappy Feet finished off a sad Cubone Kangaskhan fusion with Bubble Beam, as well as a wise-looking Ninetales, and a final Metal Claw sent Chad and his bug-eyed starter packing. I'm really regretting giving him those two as starters, but not because they're strong, I just don't like looking at them. Regardless, Hootie evolved and doesn't look nearly as painful. With Chad on the run once again, we fought our way north through a bridge full of trolls, only instead of trolls, it was trainers wielding more potentially deadly fusions. Luckily, we made it through. We managed to catch a Dunsparce as well as a Typhlosion, which created Dunlosion. While pretty cool, it was still not quite as cool as some of the fusions we had to fight on the way to Bills. I mean, look at Magnachamp. This thing is an absolute monster of a Pokemon. It could definitely be a future Paradox Pokemon. There was also a Drybones Blastoise, but luckily we made it through. We helped Bill unfuse himself with a Pokemon, which could be pretty cool technology. Imagine fusing yourself with Arceus, or even something as simple as a Dugtrio. Afterwards, we managed to catch a Blastoise Yanma, then encountered a Yanmega Blastoise that looked amazing, but dupes. So we caught a Jigglypuff and named it Dish Soap. We also got a Galvantula as well as a Grovyle. With our boxes now full of potential, we boarded the SSN. We battled a bunch of old people and their insane fusions. We grabbed a keycard and made our way over to the captain to learn Cut, but were once again stopped by Chad. His Bubble Whirl went down to Hootie's pecs, then Portabella finished off the starter. Hypode came in and gave off some creepy uncle vibes, so we quickly removed him from the field with a Mach Punch. Venunium was a gorgeous fusion, but it didn't have anything for us, so it was quickly knocked out, winning the battle once again and chasing Chad off. Time for the gym. Surge was using fighting types this go around, and after sifting through trash bins, it was time for a battle. We brought Hootie, Portabello, and Glitch. Spinchomp couldn't handle getting pecked, and after putting his Dragoli to sleep, we managed to take it down as well. Surge's final Pokemon might have been an issue as it used counter against Glitch's Fire Punch, but luckily for us, our Ghost typing avoided getting hit by it, so another Fire Punch and a burn won our third badge. 3 badges and only 2 Pokemon losses? Things were actually looking pretty good for us. The next stretch of the game is a ton of traveling to the Pokemon Tower, so on our way we captured a Reuniclus and the worst happened. We misclicked and we ran from a Regigigas, and if you don't know, when you fuse a Pokemon, you get to choose from either of the Pokemon's abilities. So anything we could have fused with this could have gotten rid of its terrible ability and kept its insane stats. Sad day. Regardless, we ended up catching Chikorita, Poliwhirl, we put Slurpee away and added Firefly to the team. We caught a Whimsicott, Porygon, Gabite, and Volcarona, defeated the god of land incarnate Ladydon, and then made one of the strongest fusions of the run, Volcatoise. After boxing Portabella, we added Helios to the team. In a cave we caught Dusclops, defeated a spectacular Flygon fusion, and was graced by the presence of a true god, Mewdoof. Then we almost lost the entire run to a Shelgon Porygon fusion. Luckily we made it through to the Pokemon Tower just in time to watch some goons carry an old man away to the top. Instead of helping, Chad wanted to battle. Chad led with a Mummified Bull, which was no good for Hootie, so we switched into our new champion, Helios. Helios did some boogieing that made Duscros quiver and then burned him with his ability. Another fiery dance knocked him out, making Helios even stronger as he asserted his dominance on the dance floor. I battlefield. Venopy didn't stand a chance, and Jigglyret just added to the fuel to the fiery display as we were now +4 in special attack. Shelmelian didn't know what hit it with a bug buzz, and we finished the battle. After the battle, Chad ran off, and with no way past the ghosties, we headed to the next city where Erica and our 4th badge were waiting. Our encounters on this way were Golurk, which we caught, and Shupspar, giving us 2 new powerhouses to add to the PC. We almost lost a few Pokemon to a Spiritomb Zekrom, but managed to win the battle. We found this amazing Charmeleon Kyogre fusion, and then finally arrived in Celadon City. We decided to take a quick break and run some errands for a few residents, and after walking this woman's Eevee, she rewarded us with a Charizard, giving us our 3rd and final Kanto starter. On our way to the gym, Erica asked us for help to stop Team Rocket, so with her by our side, we defeated several Rocket goons, went through the sewers, did a conveyor belt puzzle, and fought even more goons, until we made our way to their top dog, Giovanni. I would say our battle was fierce, but after defeating his first Pokemon with Metal Claw, Cappy Feet used its Moxie ability to sweep the rest of his cute little team. These were definitely just some child's Pokemon he stole and not his normal team. With no more need to crawl through the city's waste, it was time for our 4th badge. But we needed some money, so time for a quick training montage. Perfect. Anyways, back to the... Yeah, so I was pretty confident after an hour of grinding levels that Cappy Feet would clear this rock gym easily. And I didn't stop to think about the fact that he was currently facing a grass type. Well, we learned that lesson. Getting comfortable in a Nuzlocke definitely means death. He may not have been the coolest looking fusion, but he sure was powerful and will be missed. But we had already started the gym, so we had to press on. Our team against Erica would be risky, but I chose to lead Hootie, bringing Helios and Glitch in the back. Erica started the battle strong with a Ramp Clang, so we put it to sleep and switched into King Glitch, who managed to take it down with a low kick. Her second Pokemon, Sudovire, dealt some serious damage, and we were in danger. It was now a test of whose Electivire fusion was better, her empty-eyed goofball or our king. Luckily, we survived another Rock Tomb, allowing us to heal up and low kick again, taking him out. Her final Pokemon, a Quillfish Bonsly fusion, fell quickly to a Thunder Punch, and with that, we had our 4th badge. It was now time to test out some new fusions and mix up the team. Reuniclus and Dusclops was pretty cool and looked like an escaping experiment. Golurk Charizard was an insane looking gargoyle. Unfortunately, its stats and typings were not very good. Breloom and Parasect was actual nightmare fuel, but it was a fast spore, so it would come in handy. Charizard made Gabite look a little chunky, but the better stats and ability definitely was Gabite and Whimsicott. Charizard and Talonflame didn't change the typing at all, but it was a pretty cool fusion, and Cleffa with Reuniclus created a decent typing, but we'd be evolving it shortly anyways.
Alright, we're already getting Love Bunny's evolution. It's far less appealing.
Don't worry, one more time.
Let's see, is Clefable better? Marginally.
We named it Love Bunny after another member. Here is our current team: Helios, Firefly, King Glitch, Gray, Love Bunny, and John. With our new team and the item needed to see ghosts, we headed up the Pokemon Tower. We fought through a bunch of ghostly grandmas, which I never really understood why these people were here and who they are, but we eventually made it to the top after several close calls, since everything's about our level cap here. Suddenly, we were faced with a slacking Venusaur. Remember what I said about bad abilities going away? Well, we are outsped and John took a massive double edge. So much for our sleep paralysis demon being fast. Luckily, Helios was faster and managed to take it out, but that loss would haunt us. In fact, it haunted us so much that the final Ghost Girl of the tower ignored the rules of the level caps and sent out a double Flygon fusion that was level 40, several levels above us. Now, we might have made it through this battle relatively unscathed, but for some reason this Flygon also had the move Earthquake, which if you didn't know is a move it gets at level 44 in generations 8 and 9, which are the ones I've played most recently. It doesn't even get Earthquake before generation 6 in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, where it learns it apparently at level 33, which is the same as Gen 7, and I've never played Gen 6 or 7, so this was news to me. Anyways, he knocked out Firefly, then Bunny was barely able to survive long enough to take it out with Heal Stall. That was rough. We ended up adding Phoenix to the team and fused Porygon with Golurk to create Optimus Prime. We also fused Galvantula and Shuppet to make Charlotte, and left Slurpee in the box box, still as always. On our way to the next town, we defeated a ton of crazy more fusions. Smash. We caught a few more Pokemon like Kakuna, Metapod, Spinarak, and a Slugma who evolved and fused with Grovyle, who then evolved into Jeffrey the Magtile. We then headed straight into the gym battle against Koga's electric types. His Raichu and Starmie fusion went down to a couple Earth powers, and Celeode, the totally normal custom fusion, almost knocked us out. Luckily, Jeffrey pulled through. Optimus then switched in, breaking through confusion and landing a high horsepower against his Riolu. His final fusion was a Kakorp, which Gray took out easily. 5 badges down. And on our way to Sabrina, managed to defeat the beta sprite for Porygon 2. It's definitely different, but I would have loved to see where this went when it evolved. Team Rocket had infested the city, so before battling Sabrina, we charged through Silphco, saved a bunch of civilians, and battled even more monstrous fusions. But the scary part of Silphco was what awaited us at the top. We had to battle Chad once again, which is always scary, but then afterwards, we would have to double battle Giovanni with Chad's help, which usually doesn't go very well for Nuzlockes. Luckily, Chad's team was no issue whatsoever, and we easily defeated him. Time for the double battle. I assumed Gray would be safe against the 2 Giovanni had sent out, plus I couldn't really afford to switch. Unfortunately, we did almost no damage, and both opposing Pokemon targeted us, so we were quickly knocked out, adding another to the list of amazing fusions we'd lost. Jeffrey was sent out next, but after taking over half of its health in one turn and being the slowest on the field, we decided to switch into Charlotte, predicting their next moves. And we predicted wrong, as it used Stomping Tantrum instead of Dizzy Punch like the previous turn. At this point, we had yet to take down a single Pokemon on Giovanni's side, and we were down 2.5 already. I sent out Phoenix and resorted to smoke screening their Pokemon as much as I could, which allowed Chad's Clefwood to finally take one out, the Baniri fusion, only for it to be replaced with Torrizard, a level 51 double starter fusion. They decided to keep attacking Phoenix as I heal stalled, and Clefwood continued doing nothing but try to counter. Eventually, a Rock Slide took out the Charizard fusion, and the smokescreen strat continued to prove its worth. Optimus switched in to defeat the Megarita, and finally, we took out the Latias fusion, winning the battle with only 2 losses. The boss of Silphco, in his appreciation, gave us a Turtwig, which was epic. It was once again time to rebuild the team. I evolved every Pokemon we could, then ran through a ton of fusion options. We reversed the Love Bunny fusion into the more powerful version, even though it doesn't look quite as cool. Golurk and Porygon 2 looked okay, but it wasn't the best, so we fused Golurk with Torterra, which was an overgrown Golem. Gliscor and Genesect created a high-tech bat we named Batman, and it was finally time for Sabrina. She was using fighting types this go-around, so we let Bunny, brought Helios, Phoenix, and Beta Batman in the back. A quick Psychic knocked out her B-Rogue, and Dustbuskin was disarmed with Disarming Voice. Her third Pokemon was her first decent fusion, as we had to switch out into Beta Batman. A Sky Uppercut and a U-turn took out her Angry Sea Monkey, and got us a clean switch into Helios to face her final Pokemon, Waychoke, the Ocean Muscle. Eventually, a combination of confusion from Water Pulse and Flame Body caused it to knock itself out, winning the 5th gym badge with no losses this time. On our way to Blaine, we had more encounters, which was crucial because of the battle that was coming up against Zap Molkuno. We would need everything we could to face that triple fusion. We captured a Jolteon, a Luxray, Steelix, and Hitmontop. In the Icy Cave, we grabbed a Slackoth, which was huge, as well as a Garchomp with a Quick Ball. We caught some other Pokemon, but here's a look at the beautiful box we had acquired. Not to mention our Static Absol, which was a Shedinja. So after a ton more evolutions and grinding, we had a box absolutely packed full of potential. After getting Blaine out of the basement, it was time to take on his dragon types, which once again made me grateful for this little blop of fairy power. This gym had some really cool dragon fusions leading to the final battle for the 7th badge, like this Gargros as well as Korgon the bubbly dragon and a balloon animal Dialga. With a fairy type lead, we charged into battle against his dragon steel type fusion. Great. Luckily, Love Bunny was crazy bulky and had recover, so we managed to take it out just fine. Phoenix then came in with Flamethrower against his Galvagon, and Wing Attack took out his dragon type Oddish, which might not have looked like much, but we've been defeated by adorable dragon types in this battle battle before. Blaine's final Pokemon, a Pidgeot Salamence, hit the field, and after some stall recover tactics, we managed to defeat it with Bunny, winning our 7th badge and bringing us to the hardest fight in the game. Luckily, with chat's help, we concocted a plan. We would sacrifice Jeffrey to get off a rock slide, damaging all 3 birds. Then our newly fused Jolteon Talonflame fusion would outspeed and discharge to hit all 3 as well. Finally, Fortune, our Klinklang Mismagius fusion, would finish off the battle with its own discharge. We created this 3 with the intent to lose them, but they would get us through this battle, so it'd be worth it. We were on our way, past the final goon standing between us and Zapmel Kuno. Can we sneak past you? Are you sneakable? Oh, Jeffrey's dead if this doesn't knock out. I hate residual damage. Oh my gosh. So that plan we came up with, yeah, that's not gonna work because we lost Jeffrey right before the battle, and then Fortune, and Phoenix. This fusion here, this Zapdos Infernape, was an issue. Luckily, Helios barely survived to take it out, then defeated Cortera, getting us out of the battle to rebuild once again. Heading back to the drawing board, my chat insisted we create a fail-proof plan to win this battle, so we combined Weavile and Shedinja to create a fusion only weak to Fairy, meaning it could not be hit in this upcoming boss battle. But I wanted to win in a way that we didn't kind of use Wonder Guard as a cheeky way to get through it, so we fused Garchomp with Slacking to create this behemoth named Gray. We also fused Baniri with Moltres to create a small but fast flaming rabbit named Natsu. It evolved and our team was complete. It was time. We started the battle by having Talongamer use Discharge as the original plan, which did massive damage, as well as getting 1 paralysis. And then it went down. 07's in the comments for Talongamer. I decided to risk it and sent in Gray for some insane power. We landed a huge Stone Edge on Articuno while Zapdos used Charge and Moltres healed its status, meaning we were still in full health. We outsped the Moltres, hitting another Stone Edge, taking it out, which left only Zapdos. Gray easily finished it off with Dragon Claw, and we had done it. The hardest single battle of the game was behind us, and as much as Gray did the heavy lifting landing those Stone Edges, we have a huge thanks to the only surviving member of the Suicide Squad, Talongamer, and that massive discharge. Giovanni ran off, letting his fusion split apart, but we weren't about to let him get away with taking down our team members, so we chased after him, adding Jupiter Golem Torterra fusion back to the team as well as Love Bunny, and it was time to head for our final badge. Luckily, Giovanni's ice types would be no match for us. Smoopod allowed us to set up several quiver dances, which then allowed us to fiery dance all over Giovanni, as well as using Surf and Bug Buzz through every single one of his Pokemon. We humiliated the man and asserted our Pokemon dominance. We received our final badge. The Nuzlocke was going so well. Even with a few bad plays and many sad losses, we could see the end of the tunnel. All that stood in our way was the Elite Four and the final rival battle. Natsu destroyed this bad Hair Day Absol, and Bunny outlasted his Vilex. Ginchop fainted to a single Psychic, and Helios washed out his Entei fusion with Surf. We then almost fell victim to a Nuzlocker's worst nightmare, Innards Out, as Helios knocked out a Pyukumuku fusion, living on 17. Way too close. Chad's final Pokemon was his finally evolved starter, which actually looked kinda cute. From Beast to Beauty. With that victory behind us, we hit the road. We battled through the final trainers, caught a few more things, and it was finally time for our final battles. I decided to keep the team as it was, leveled them up, fixed the movesets, and it was finally time. Would I win my first ever Nuzlocke? Lorelei led a Rose Chum, which allowed us to set up Quiver Dance, and even though she had an amazing Mewtwo fusion, as well as a Jelly Cube, Helios's power proved too much for her, sweeping the first battle. Bruno was using Water types, so our lead of Beta Batman worked out pretty well. We knocked out his Koffawag and Lido with Thunderfang. Chinto then came out and we switched into Love Bunny, who was able to take down his Azumatic. That left his last Pokemon, Woolette, who easily fell. You know, I faced some Elite Fours on this randomizer with absolute monsters, but so far, this has not been one of them. Maybe Agatha's Fire-type team would prove to be a little stronger. Okay, maybe not. Lance's poison types were up next. His first went down easily to a flamethrower from Natu, and then a flaming spider caused us some issues with continuous burns and poisons, but eventually it switched out to avoid Gray's massive dig. We then chipped down his second tentacle fusion, and Lance sent out this amazing Roserade Latios fusion, which incorporated both Latios and Latios. We predicted the dragon move and switched into Bunny, and with a psychic they went down. The flaming spider came back out and it was finally time to take it down with Dig, meaning we had only one more battle to go. Chad sent out Lap King, which gave Helios the perfect chance to set up Quiver Dance and start bug buzzing away. On the switch, Pseudomuku took massive damage, but it didn't faint, which was perfect because Innards Out would have instantly knocked out Helios. Chad was trying to play some big brain moves with that switch. He healed up and we unfortunately failed to knock it out, and a head smash instantly took out our king Helios. We had to win. His sacrifice could not be in vain. He had carried us through so many battles. So we sent in Jupiter, knocked out the Pyukumuku with Leaf Storm, and then Farming came in and flinched us. As we switched, they switched back into Lap King, and Beta Batman knocked it out with X Scissor, as well as the Roserade fusion that came out next. We let Beta Batman go down, getting off a massive Thunder Fang into Farmine, which allowed Natsu to quick attack, bringing Chad down to 2 Pokemon. And Pochu hit the field and was swiftly taken down by Natsu's Fire Gem boosted Flamethrower and a Lucky Burn, leaving his starter alone. The now adorable Wigglyret stood no chance, and with that we had won our first ever Nuzlocke, a randomized fusion Nuzlocke no less. Our final team had done it, but we can't forget about all those amazing fusions that fell to get us here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe if you enjoyed, like the video, and comment your favorite fusion from the run. And until next time, peace.